Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Paranormal New Normal presents Paranormal Primetime. I'm your host, Jeremy, as always, here with my faithful co-host, Malachi, to discuss two more episodes of the greatest show ever created. What's going on, Malachi?
Not a whole lot. How you doing?
It's going, man. It's going. Another day, freezing my ass off. But that's why I'm inside
Yeah, it's
tonight.
cold where you guys are, huh?
It's freaking brutal. So,
Yeah, it's been warm all year for us. I'm actually surprised. I left the gym with my t-shirt on. It was dark outside.
mm,
Nice and warm here.
yeah, lucky bastard. But
Yeah.
well, let's get right into your episode there, Malachi, because I'm dying to talk about this.
Okay, my episode is Death Takes a Holiday, Season 4, Episode 15. It was written by Jeremy Carver and directed by Steve Boyum, which I'm not sure I've seen those names yet either.
No, I don't believe so.
And then Kim Manners. I thought Kim Manners was a woman, but I
It is,
guess it's a
isn't it?
man.
Oh, okay.
No, did you see at the end of the episode? I don't know if they.
Oh, I
I was
did,
watching
yeah.
on Netflix. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
they
guess
did.
this whole season is dedicated to Kim Manners, and I know that was like a writer director, and it's a man, not a woman. So.
Yeah. No, there are men named Kim, so it can happen.
Yeah. Okay, so mine starts off. You got two guys walking out of a bar or somewhere. They're talking, and a guy holds them at gunpoint, and the robber holds him at gunpoint. Hears like a loud boom or something. Something happens. Trash can, and he shoots the guy right in the chest. Robber runs away, and the friend's sitting there consoling the guy. And the guy gets up, and he's got a bullet hole in him, but he's not bleeding, and he's still alive, where it should have shot him right into the heart. So then we cut to the boys at a diner, and Bobby calls and tells him about this case where a cancer victim was pronounced dead. They pulled the plug, and the guy got up and left, and now he's doing his 20th anniversary with his wife and the bullet guy. And then there was another death. So there's all these deaths in this town where nobody's dying. And then Sam and Dean, or well, I guess Dean gets a little catty with Sam. He asks, "Are you sure you want me to go? Are you sure I'm strong enough to go, Sammy?" And then Sam says, "Hey, that was just the seductress, or what the hell was it?
Succubus.
No, it wasn't a succubus. It was from
Siren.
Siren. Yeah, it was just the siren that made him say all that shit from the Jeremy's episode last week. So they head out. I guess this happened in Gray Bull. I lost it, but they head to this town where everybody's dying, and I do have a first. I think in this episode, they go to interview the guy who got shot in the heart, and I think this is the first time they pretend to be bloggers.
Yeah, it is.
And this, I just think about that. This released in 2009, and at that time, that was the hot thing to do, was be a blogger. You know, that was how you made money on the internet back then.
Yeah.
So they're sniffing around this guy. They're like, "Hey, you didn't by chance go to a crossroads, did you?" He's like, "No." "Did you see anybody with black eyes or red eyes?" "No." So when they're leaving, they're asking each other, "Well, it doesn't seem to be anything demonic. What do you think? The Reaper took a holiday? Is there just no Reaper here?" Let me get caught back up here. So they go and back to the motel, and they're investigating. Sam goes and sees the other guys that were shot or should be dead, and Dean researches that the last person who died was this kid Cole. I think that's his name. Let me pull
Yeah,
back up here.
I think it is. Sounds right.
Okay. So, interviewing
Yeah,
survivors.
Cole Griffith. Yeah.
So they want to try and go. Hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, I'm still on track. So they're doing this. Hold on, I might be. No, that's right. Grable, Monica Angelic. So they go look for this kid anyway. They see the kid up in the window, and then they decide that maybe they'll summon the kid in the graveyard. So when they're doing that, all of a sudden they got some guy that's walking in asking them if they're worshiping Satan. And we find, or no, that's not. I'm getting all screwed up here. That happens afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Investigation. No, that happens before the astral projection. So
Oh yeah.
Alistair comes when they're trying to summon the kid, and there's a fight with Alistair, and he throws Dean clear across the cemetery, and then he tries to attack Sam, but he can't do anything to Sam, so he disapparates out of the guy he's possessing's mouth, and so now they're going to plan two. If they can't summon the kid, they're going to try to astral project. So they bring, what's that lady's name?
Pam.
Do you remember Pamela? Yeah. So
Yeah.
they call Pamela over there, and Pamela's helping them astral project so they can get into the ghost world. And we see Dean like, it was a dud. And then Sam wakes up behind him, and they're in the astral plane. So they're walking around the city, and they're not seeing anything. And then they meet up with this kid. They see the kid like haunting his mom, throwing a soccer ball at her head and shit. He's not trying to be mean. But they go and they talk to the kid, and they want to know, like, hey, have you seen any demons or reapers or anything? He says that he saw this like reaper guy, but then the black smoke came and got him. So as soon as that is explained, all of a sudden we see the lights flickering and shit, and then this ghost figure comes in, and it's a woman, and the woman asks Dean if he remembers her, and we find out this was the Tessa girl, the Tessa Reaper from when him and his dad were in the car accident.
From season 2, episode 1.
Season 2, episode 1. So she's trying to take the kid, and they're like, hey, you got to hold on taking this kid. This kid's the only way we can figure out how to fucking get these demons, and we think the demons ganked your boy. So just hold off on that for a little bit. And the kid tells him that it's the black smoke is at the funeral home. When he was being buried, he saw the black smoke there. And man, let me switch over to this real quick. So when they're doing that, Alistair comes back, and he's fucking with the kids again, or fucking with Sam and Dean. He's hitting them with iron chains and rock salt and all this shit. And then Castiel just like fucking snaps Alistair out of there. And that was pretty much it. Then, Dean talks to Tessa and says he wishes that he would have died that day. And Tessa says the angels, if you follow your gut, these angels might not have they might not have your best intentions at heart. And well, I guess I skipped over that part. Pamela gets stabbed when the demons are trying to fuck with their living bodies. Pamela gets stabbed, and at the end, Pamela tells
You are
Sam.
skipping so much.
Well, I mean, I'm to the end at this point. Tells
No, you're not.
Sam that like he shouldn't be doing what he's doing, basically.
Well, first you gotta
And
explain how she even knows what Sam's doing.
I don't know, how does she know what Sam's doing? She saw it when Sam killed Alistar. I guess I missed that part. Or it wasn't Alistar, it was a different demon. She knew how that happened, right? She
She
felt it
watched
or
it.
some shit.
She watched it happen because Sam saved her when she got stabbed.
Yeah, and then she dies at the end.
Yes. Jesus Christ, dude.
I tried something different with the notes this time. It didn't work.
I would say so. You missed like a half the episode, but
At bottom line, Dean shouldn't trust the angels. Sam's doing bad shit with his demon blood, and Pamela dies.
yes,
and we'll get back to Alistar in the next episode.
There's also another first in this episode. It's the first episode where Alistair is played by Christopher Heyerdahl, who,
I don't know.
If anyone watched Hell on Wheels, he plays the most amazing villain on that show.
Didn't that show only last like a season? That was the train one, right?
It lasted like 5 or 6 seasons.
Huh. That came out around the same time as Supernatural, didn't it?
No, that started in like 10, 11, 12, somewhere in... Yeah, that started in like 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there. But
well,
I mean, yeah, but yeah, he always plays a good villain. I've seen him in other stuff too. He always plays a good villain. But another
he does good in your episode coming up here.
Oh yeah. Which, I mean, I got no other real like interesting facts about your episode off the top of my head that I didn't mention already. So, what would you rate your episode?
I'd give it a 4.
Yeah, I mean, I'd give it a 4.2. It has some really good moments, and it's starting to show Sam's descent, because the whole fucking where he's like, let's just lie to the kid. Like that is so Sam going towards having no sympathy or empathy.
Yeah.
So,
but Dean gets in there and he, tells the kid, "Hey, you can stay here. Your whole family will die, or you can just pass on to the other side." So it's still that like yin and yang going on.
Yeah, leave it to Dean to be rational. But well, my episode, folks, season 4, episode 16, On the Head of a Pin, which I don't get the title at all, but whatever. Written by Ben Edlund and directed by Mike Roll. I'm pretty sure Mike Roll's a new name. I think Ben Edlund we just had before, but
On the Head of a Pin.
Yep. But basically, the episode starts off and we just see Castiel. He's walking. He lands in a parking lot where cars have been overturned and car alarms are blaring off. He raises his hand, makes them all go quiet, and he goes to the center of it all where he sees a woman in white is resting a sword wound in her sternum. He wishes her goodbye and then disappears as the police arrive. Enter the title scene.
Then you see, I couldn't tell, but did they have like the big 30-foot angel wings?
Yes. Right before it goes title scene, Castiel disappears when all the cops show up. And next thing we see is an overhead shot, and you see the helicopter searchlight shining on the ground where the woman's dead, and you can see her wings charred into the street.
Yeah. I mean, I was watching on my phone, so she was about this big, but the wings
So
were like.
So yeah, that's how we know for sure it's an angel. But we start the main part of the episode off with we see Dean and Sam driving back through the night from Pamela's funeral. Sam tells Dean that Ruby is going to meet them after tracking some leads. Dean says he doesn't care and is feeling guilty and becoming tired of losing all their friends. Sam tells him to get angry, another sign of Sam's descent. But Sam tells him to get angry, not tired, which is a very boss move for Sam, actually, because he's usually a little bitch when it comes to shit like that. But
well, we'll find out why.
Yeah. They check into a motel and find Uriel and Castiel waiting for them. Dean flips out at them by mentioning their friend and reminds Castiel of her. Oh, you know, that woman you blinded? But Uriel doesn't give a fuck. And while Castiel expresses sympathy, Uriel puts him back in his place, telling him, don't worry about these mud monkeys. Which Dean immediately points out, why do you always let them tell you what to do, Castiel? Uriel then tells them, though, that 7 angels have been killed and they don't know how the demons are doing it. They want Dean to interrogate Alistair since they have him captive. Dean tells him, no way, but Uriel tells him, like, we're not asking, you're doing it. So the angels disappear with Dean, leaving Sam behind, where he's like, God damn it. So we see Castiel, they take Dean to a warehouse somewhere, we have no idea where, and he shows Dean Alistair bound within Devil's Trap, and Dean tries to leave, but Uriel blocks him. Castiel says they have no choice but to ask, and Dean asks to speak with Castiel alone. Uriel leaves after being amused with Dean's defiance and says he's actually starting to like Dean. But as Castiel warns him that superiors are beginning to doubt him because of his sympathies towards humans. Dean warns that Castiel won't like what walks out if Dean goes into a torture house there, and Castiel tells him that he'd give everything for Dean not to do it. Which we're starting to see the very beginning of our friendship, but very beginning. And so Dean goes into the chamber, pushing his cart, and Alistair starts singing as Dean starts preparing a collection of torture stuff. Alistair laughs and wonders if Dean is scared. Dean denies and says that, and Alistair points out that after Dean left part of himself back in hell, that he should be scared. And he suggests Dean want to get revenge, if not for how Alistair tortured him, but for everything he did to his father. Because he wanted his father to come off the rack, not Dean. He wanted his father to agree to start becoming a torturer. Dean gets all pissed off, and we flip back and we see Ruby arriving at the motel, and she doesn't see the problem about Dean going with the angels, but Sam warns that Dean can't get the job done. He's not strong enough anymore. But Sam says he'll be strong enough to do it. But Dean starts to question. We're back at Dean, and he's questioning Alistair's remark as he boasts of what he did to John in his time in hell, but he admits he never did break him the same way he broke Dean. Alistair continues by stating that he expects Dean to have a similar will, but mocks him on not being strong-willed like his father. Dean's getting pissed off and tells him that he can still dream in hell, and he agreed to torturing Alistair. So he grabs a syringe, and he fills it with holy water, and outside we see Castiel listening to Alistair's screams of pain, as Dean's injecting him in with holy water, which probably is real torture to a demon. But
yeah, I think you could do worse, though, right?
Oh, he does. But
I mean, you could hook like an IV up to his wiener, filled with holy water.
Jesus Christ, dude! But
colonic.
But we're back at the motel, and we see Ruby doing a tracking spell on a map to locate Dean, and it burns the map until they find the little circle where Dean is. Sam says that he needs it, and it's been weeks. Sound like a fucking drug addict. And Ruby tells him he'll be okay, and then she cuts her arm open, and he sucks out the demon blood. We're back at Dean, and he's coating a demon killing knife with holy water, and Alistair asks if torture will give him closure. Dean plunges the knife into him, but the demon still boasts of how he changed Dean, and there's no going back. Dean tells him he's right, but now it's his turn. And while this is happening, we are made aware that there's a water valve that is moving by itself, and water is starting to drip onto part of the devil's trap. Characters have no idea, but outside, Castiel sees the lights flickers and realizes that Anna has arrived. She ended up creating a duplicate of her human body by calling in some old favors from other angels. And Castiel warns her that he still has orders to kill her, but she's sure he won't. She asks him why they're letting Dean do this, and he questions if torturing is God's work. Castiel refuses to question the will of God, but Anna points out whether the orders are really coming from God or not. And she also points out that he's feeling doubt and insists the orders are wrong. She says they can act together, but he insists that he's nothing like her. He tells her to go, and she disappears into the night. And meanwhile, back in the room, Alistair is refusing to give the angel killer's name up. He explains that Lilith had a particular reason to get Dean, but Dean shuts him up by pouring salt in his mouth through a funnel. And
he could have been in the butt.
And we're back with Sam. Never mind Malachi's attraction to butts, but
I mean, are we torturing him or what?
Well, we see Sam driving through the night as Alistair starts explaining that John was supposed to bring it on, but it turned out that it was Dean. He describes how the first person Dean tortured was the first seal. When he broke, it broke. Alistair tells him that they summoned the apocalypse. When they did that, it'll be Dean's fault. He focuses on the water pipe as it continues to drip on the seal, and Dean figures that Alistair is telling the truth, but warns he won't be there to see it. When he turns around, Alistair is free and starts beating the fucking living shit out of Dean. And we see Castiel finally arrive after Dean gets the shit beat out of him, and he plunges the demon-killing knife into his shoulder. But Castiel twists it, but Alistair manages to pull it out and lunges at the angel. The two fight while Dean lies on the floor, knocked the fuck out. And we see Alistair slam Castiel's back onto a hook. Then admits all he can do is send Castiel back to heaven. He can't kill him. And he starts to recite an incantation as Castiel starts glowing with white light. Suddenly, Alistair starts choking and falls back. And we see Sam walking in the room with using his force powers to pin Alistair to the wall. And Sam tells him, "You better tell me the name of the angel killer now," and continues torturing him. Alistair says he doesn't know, and finally admits that demons are not killing the angels, and Lilith wouldn't stop at just 7 angels. Alistair dares Sam to send him back, but Sam tells him he can kill demons now. So he focuses his power and destroys them once and for all. Which, yes, folks, that means Alistair is officially dead. And Castiel just is staring at Sam in shock that Sam could do that. We see Sam now at the hospital, sitting at Dean's bedside. Castiel meets him outside the room and tells him to. And Sam's like, "Why can't you just go heal Dean?" Castiel says he can't. The trap shouldn't have been broken. Sam insists that Alistair wasn't lying. They need to find out who or what is killing the angels. Meanwhile, we go to the next scene and we see Uriel for the first time in a while, who went to get revelations, he said, when he left Castiel and Dean. He's in an empty park, and Castiel arrives. Uriel says he's received revelation that they've to stop hunting the demons. Even Uriel realizes something is wrong in heaven, and they wonder who could be responsible. Castiel wonders if possibly God's punishing them, or if God isn't giving the orders anymore. Uriel disappears, says he won't wait to be gutted. Later that night, Castiel calls out to Anna, and she comes. He admits he's considered disobedience, but she warns that it gets worse as he exerts his independence. He flinches when she touches him, but Castiel begs her to tell him what to do. She refuses, telling him it's time to think for himself. He looks at the nearby drinking fountain and sees a water valve. Castiel returns to the warehouse and sees the water valve that broke the devil's trap. Uriel arrives and asks if Castiel will fight with him. Castiel insists that no demon could have broken his trap, and he talks their time together, fighting since the beginning of time, basically. And he asks Uriel for the truth, since he's known him so long. Uriel tells him that only an angel can kill an angel, and he pulls an angel sword from his sleeve. He tells him that the plan was that Alistair was to have killed Dean and escaped. Uriel's plan is conversion, and he's angry that God created humans still. Or as he calls them, mud monkeys.
Yeah, I like Uriel. He's the funniest Funniest angel in the garrison.
But he wants Castiel to join them so they can raise their brother Lucifer, who never bowed to humanity. Uriel asks Castiel to spread the word and bring on the apocalypse. Uriel tells him not to be afraid, and Castiel says he isn't, and as he slams Uriel through a wall using his own force powers. We see an awesome angel on angel fight with plenty of good fucking hits, but Uriel starts getting the upper hand, insisting there's no god, and Anna comes up from behind him and kills him. And meanwhile, we see Dean wake up at the hospital afterwards. He finds Castiel standing by his side. Castiel tells him to be careful and then informs him that Uriel was the traitor. Dean asks if Alistair spoke the truth, and Castiel confirms that Dean broke the first seal. They laid siege to hell to stop him, but they were too late. And Castiel explains that the righteous man who begins it is the only one who can finish it. And Dean's standing there crying, saying, I can't finish it, I'm not strong enough. Gave meter of like 0.5.
Yeah, Dean is kind of like depressed in these past 2 episodes. He's just like,
but
I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, he's getting there, but Dean has no idea what it means, he says, and Castiel says that he doesn't know either. And Dean says he can't do it, he's not strong enough, and he tells Castiel to find someone else, and he cries his way off the episode. Dun dun. And
why didn't Cass just do the snap you're better thing?
Why didn't he what?
Just do the snap and Dean's healed thing.
Don't know. I don't know why. Maybe they just didn't want to write into the show. I guess at that point because it would solve too many issues right away. But this is the first appearance of Angel Blades.
Mm-hmm.
And the angel at the beginning of the episode that died was the first one to actually wear a full dress, like the typical angel attire. All the other female angels in the show always wear professional business attire.
Yeah.
And fun fact, this was actually supposed to be the episode where Castiel got killed off.
Really?
But he was so popular already by this point that they kept him alive, and he became the character he is.
Yeah, that would have been a mistake.
Oh, okay, shit. Yeah, it would have been. But apparently the name of the episode, Head of a Pin, it refers to the question, how many angels can dance on the head of a pin? Which is used to dismiss angelology, the idea that the existence of angels in more than one realm and their hierarchy, along with scholasticism in general. So, but
yeah, I would have never got that. I still don't get it.
But yeah, I don't know. I would probably rate this episode a 4.5. It was a pretty damn good episode.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. A lot of storyline.
God, yeah, a lot of storyline. So,
it's a pretty good one.
It was a good one, and I think Scott's would be very happy for his episode next week, folks.
What is it?
It's a Christmas episode, close to Thanksgiving.
Oh, Thanksgiving and Christmas in one episode?
Oh my! Well, Christmas one. It's a parody of a Christmas movie, but you'll like it.
Sweet.
And I get a really good episode next week, apparently. Oh, it's one of my favorite ones.
What's yours?
I'll tell you after we go up there.
Okay.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for this week. Come back next week, and we got 2, not quite Monster of the Week episodes, but also not storyline episodes. So come back in 2 weeks. Come back next week and see our 2 more one-offs. See you then, everybody.
Take it easy. Wasn't the